Joining me now is Suzanne DiMaggio, Senior Fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. She directs the U.S.-Iran initiative there at Carnegie. Thank you, Suzanne, for joining us. So we have both the United States and Iran with positive readouts from the Saturday meeting. They've agreed to meet again later this week. How do you read what we heard from both parties yesterday?
Well, good to be with you, Alex. So yes, following the talks, the two governments released similar positive messages. Chances are high that both sides prioritize communicating their key red lines during this initial exchange. For Trump, his consistent red line is that Tehran cannot have nuclear weapons. The red line for Tehran is that Iran cannot be denied a verifiably peaceful nuclear program. So given the positive language we heard, both sides liked what was conveyed well enough to agree to another meeting this coming Saturday. Also, I think Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi and U.S. Special Envoy Witkoff each were able to leave Oman accomplishing what they set out to do. Araghchi was able to frame it as indirect talks, which they were for the most part, while Witkoff was able to say that the two engaged directly. The meeting wrapped up with a brief face-to-face encounter. So this indicates that notwithstanding high levels of mistrust, both sides wanted the talks to go well.
So before they even began, though, in your assessment, why has Iran agreed to these talks? Is it because of bombing threats from President Trump, or is it because of Iran's economic troubles and internal unrest? What do you think?
I think it's all of the above, Alex. The Iranians have suffered some strategic setbacks since October 7th. They also are facing dire economic problems. Unemployment has skyrocketed. The middle class is suffering, and the country is also facing very serious energy shortages. So sanctions relief is a top priority.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to refer now to the Wall Street Journal reports that Iran is seeking sanctions relief in exchange for limits on its nuclear program. But what would that look like, Suzanne? And would the United States consider it?
So it's still very early days, so it's difficult to say for sure, but I think this is the direction that they're going to be heading. And that is pursuing an agreement that applies strict, verifiable constraints on a very limited uranium enrichment program in exchange for sanctions relief. Now, if this sounds familiar, it should, because it's essentially the basis of the nuclear deal, which was reached during the Obama administration, that President Trump unilaterally withdrew from in 2018. So in a somewhat ironic sense, a new Trump deal will have to be stronger than this previous agreement because Iran is closer to being able to build a nuclear weapon today than ever before.
So, I mean, over the years, we have all seen the protests against the U.S., the Death to America chants in the streets of Iran. Is there any chance of at least a longer, durable coexistence without all the animosity? Do you think this could lead to more formal relations?
You know, it's ironic, but it is possible because Trump could actually bring this deal to Congress as a treaty and might be able to get it through, something Obama could never have pursued. You know, I also think a key difference this time might be an emphasis on pursuing an opening in U.S.-Iran economic relations, including through trade and investment. That's an angle that will be very appealing to Trump. That would certainly make it more durable. Another difference could be a greater openness by both sides to stabilize the relationship quickly and build on it from there.
Okay. Suzanne DiMaggio, thank you so much for weighing in on all this. Appreciate that.